Hi guys, Callum from the Bushcraft Cave here, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be comparing the Mora Bushcraft Black, which is the knife that I use, against a fairly new knife to the market, which is the Hultafors OK4. Okay, great, so let's get down to some of these statistics and we'll do an overview of both the knives. So to start with, the blade thickness of the Mora Bushcraft Black is 3.2mm. The blade thickness of the Hultafors OK4 is 3mm. You won't be able to pick it up on camera, and that's a very minimal difference. The overall length of the knife, you can see that the Bushcraft Black is the longer knife, and that measures in at 232mm, whereas the Hultafors OK4 measures in at 209mm. The blade length, you should hopefully be able to see that on camera, but the Mora Bushcraft Black has a blade length of 109mm, whereas the Hultafors OK4 has a blade length of 93mm. So longer overall and a longer blade. Hultafors OK4 weight, 109 grams, hopefully you can see that on camera. Mora Bushcraft Black weight, it's a longer knife, so I do expect the weight to be a little bit more, and this comes in at 124 grams. The handles on both these knives are actually very good. They're quite similar in the fact that they're plastic handles which has had a rubber overmold placed on top, and this is really great because in the hand it just makes the knife a lot safer. There's that extra friction. The Mora Bushcraft Black, you can see there is a mould for your index finger, which I really like, makes the knife feel very safe and comfortable in the hand. On the OK4 it's got a much more pronounced finger guard, so again it's also a very safe knife. Personally, I've got bigger hands, so I do prefer the Mora Bushcraft Black. I feel that gives me more control, but for someone with smaller hands, the OK4 might actually be a better option, but for me personally, the Bushcraft Black feels a little bit better in the hand. Both knives have a black anti-corrosive coating on the outside. Because they are carbon steel blades, that will stop the knife corroding over time if there's any moisture on it, which really helps. Both knives also have a Scandi grind, or a flat grind as I call it. So when you're using it with a whetstone like a DC4, the anti-corrosive coating will come off. You can see that it's very pronounced on my Bushcraft Black. This knife's a couple of years old. This is a brand new Hultafors OK4, so the coating's still on there, but over time when you sharpen it, that coating will be removed, and it will just be the upper layer that's left on there. Both the OK4 and the Mora Bushcraft Black have 3/4 length tangs which run to about here. Both the sheaths that come with the knife are very good. They're both made from plastic. They both have built-in drainage holes at the bottom, which is a nice little feature. Any extra moisture can then escape rather than staying on your blade and causing that corrosion. One of the really nice features with the OK4 is it's actually a fabric material rather than just plastic, and that just makes it a bit more comfortable, a bit more MOLLE compatible, and it also has a really handy fire loop there which you can just pop your ferrocerium rod in. Both sheaths have a nice little feature on them. You can see on the Bushcraft Black here, there's a bit of extra material placed on the outside, and that just allows you to push and release the knife from the sheath. It's a nice little feature. The OK4 has something very similar, but a different style, and that again, simply push it down to release the knife. The fit on the OK4 is excellent in the sheath. It is really solid. The Bushcraft Black, I've had this for a couple of years, and it's still very good, but the OK4 does seem more solid. Both of the knives feature a 90-degree spine, which makes them excellent for using with a ferrocerium rod to produce some sparks. The Bushcraft Black I've used many times. The OK4 I haven't, so we'll see how that performs. So the Bushcraft Black does a great job, no problems at all, and the OK4 actually really good actually. Really impressed with that. Really good sparks from there. Maybe just because the knife's new and this one's a bit older, but really good sparks from both knives with a ferro rod. We're just going to do a little bit of batoning with the knives. They're 3/4 length tangs, so I'm not too worried, and I've cut through some really thick stuff in the past with the Bushcraft Black, but we'll just do a little test here just to see how they perform. I'm sure there won't be any issues, and we're using some dried hazel here, so it should have absolutely no problems whatsoever. So we'll start with the OK4 actually on this time. So when you're batoning, hold the knife in your weaker hand. Absolutely no problems whatsoever, and we will just do it with the Bushcraft Black as well, but I know this performs very well. Absolutely no problem with either of those. Really common task for using a bushcraft knife is obviously to make feather sticks. So the Bushcraft Black has absolutely no problem with doing this. You get some really nice fine shavings there. And the OK4. Both knives are very easy to work with when making feather sticks. With the Bushcraft Black I am used to the angle of the blade, so I find that one probably a little bit more comfortable, but the OK4 performed very well, and it was just like anything, takes a bit of getting used to. Okay, so to summarise, we've done a full technical specification of both knives, and we've done a few basic bushcraft tasks. And I mean, really, for me, the Bushcraft Black, the best feature on it is the handle. If you hold one of these, I can't tell you how good it feels in the hand. It just feels really safe. It's got a slightly longer blade. This particular one is 2 years old, and it's still going very, very strong. It's an excellent knife. The OK4, very similar. It's got the rubber overmold on the handle. It feels very safe in the hand, and and again, both of these knives are excellent for bushcraft. The thing I like most about the Hultafors OK4, apart from the knife itself, is the sheath that it comes with. I think it's a really nice feature to have a MOLLE compatible belt loop made of fabric material as opposed to plastic, and I really like the loop for a ferro-Syrian rod. I think that's a really nice little addition on there. The single biggest difference with these knives is the price point. The Mora Bushcraft Black retails for about £40 in the UK, and the Hultafors OK4 retails for under 20, which is just excellent value for money. So I hope you found this video review useful and gave you a bit more information about both of these knives. If you've got your own thoughts and opinions and which knife you prefer, we'd love to hear from you, so please feel welcome to leave a comment below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.